Hello friends, welcome to the very first lecture of the basic electrical engineering. So here in this video we are going to have the look on various network terminologies whatever we are going to use throughout the lecture. So network terminologies, first of all we'll see what is a circuit. So here as you can see, circuit is a closed conducting path through which an electric current either flows or intended to flow. That means what? That we can say that this is the arrangement of different electrical elements, and when the arrangement gives a closed path which can allow the flow of current, then it is called a circuit. Like this, the given diagram, here we have different electrical elements. You can see what are those? We have voltage sources and resistances, right? So here the circuit, the given arrangement is in a closed form. Okay, there is no break in any of the path, right? So if the current flows from the battery, so it has a complete path to circulate in any of the direction. So it is called what? A circuit. In the similar way, if I have an arrangement of the electrical elements but the circuit is not complete, that means path is not complete, so then what? Then current will not flow. So what to say? Then we cannot call it as a circuit. Okay, now we can call it as an electrical network, right? Then it can be called as a electrical network. Now what is electrical network? A network can be defined as the arrangement of different electrical elements in any manner, whether it is in a closed path or in a open path, right? So this is about the circuit and network and the brief difference between these two. Now we'll see what are active elements and what are passive elements. So here we can see what are active elements. The elements which supply energy to the network are known as what? Active elements. So if there are some number of elements and which some elements are used to release the energy and some elements are used to consume that energy. Okay, that combination should be there in any of the network. There should be some source of energy and there should be some sink of energy. Okay, so that source of energy is named as what? That is called as active elements, right? That is called as what? Active elements. So here you can see the examples. What are those? Like we have some voltage sources, we have some current sources. All the sources will be treated as the active elements. So examples for that are like batteries, DC generators, AC generators, or we can take it as the current sources of photoelectric cells or transistors, etc. Okay, so these are called what? The active elements. Similarly, we have another terminology that is called as the passive element. What is passive element? The element which dissipates or store energy are known as what? The passive element. Okay, so as I told you that in any electrical network there is always some number of sources and some number of sinks available. Okay, if there is energy releasing component, there should be energy consuming component also. So this energy releasing component is termed as what? The active element. So what about this which consumes the energy? That is named as what? The passive elements, right? So we have different passive elements like resistors, inductors and capacitors. These all are what? The passive elements. So now we can have another definition that a network can be called as the passive network when it contains no source of EMF. Okay, suppose I have a resistive network like this. Okay, and this is terminal A and B. So now you can see it that there is an open circuit here, right? So that's why I'm calling it as the electric network, not as the circuit. So now this electric network can be called as what? The passive network. Okay, and when I will connect any of the source through network AB, then this will be called as what? The active network, right? So there is the difference between active and passive elements and active and passive networks. After this, we will see what are the linear circuits. So what is linear circuit? to define the linear circuit, we should know the Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? Here we can say that the current through any conductor is directly proportional to the voltage applied through that conductor. We know that, okay? And when we'll go for the equation formation, we can write it like this, and this part is the proportionality constant, termed as what? The resistance, right? So here the definition of linear circuit is very simple in terms of Ohm's law. We can say whatever is the circuit which contains different elements, if that follows the Ohm's law, then it is an linear element, and that circuit will be termed as what? Linear circuit. Okay, suppose we have number of elements and all elements follows the Ohm's law, that means the current flow through that element is directly proportional to voltage. Okay, linearly proportional to voltage, then it is termed as what? The linear element. And if there are all the elements connected in a manner which is called as circuit, then if all the elements follows the Ohm's law, then it is called as what? Linear circuit, right? You can take the definitions also like this. Here you can see the graph that is drawn between voltage and current characteristic. Okay, here current is in y-axis, that means the current value depends on the value of voltage. Okay, so here as we increase the voltage value, the current also increases in a linear fashion. You can see the curve that is going linearly. Okay, so this is called what? The linear circuits. A circuit which contains all the linear elements are called linear circuits, and linear element is what? The element which follows the Ohm's law or which gives the linear characteristic is called what? Linear element. Now similarly, we can define the non-linear circuit. Now, what is non-linear circuit? The definition is almost similar. The non-linear circuit is what? First we will see what is non-linear element. Okay, non-linear element means an element which doesn't follow the Ohm's law. Okay, that means the current flowing through the conductor now is not directly proportional to voltage. Okay, it depends on other various factors and the dependency is not linear. Now this type of elements will be called as what? The non-linear elements. Okay, example for non-linear elements, we can take the diode. You know the diode. What is diode? In the forward bias condition, we get this kind of characteristic. Okay, that means what? Initially it is not allowing, this represent the voltage, this represent the current. Okay, so initially it is not allowing the current to flow, or we can say that it is giving maximum resistance in between this range. But after that, as we keep on increasing the voltage, the current flow through the conductor increases. Okay, so this characteristic shows the different tendency, that initially it is giving a high resistance, after that the resistance value is decreasing slowly as we are going for the voltage increment. Okay, so throughout this variation we can see that the variation of current doesn't depend directly on the voltage, it depends on the property of the diode, right? So this type of elements are called as what? Non-linear element. Now suppose I have a circuit where I have number of elements connected, and in that circuit suppose there is a single element which is showing the non-linear element, non-linear characteristic. Okay, I have a 5 number of elements in a circuit suppose, and my single one element is showing the non-linear characteristic, then this circuit will be termed as what? Non-linear circuit, right? So this is about the non-linear circuit, and here you can see in the graph also characteristic, voltage versus current. Okay, the characteristic is not linear, rather than linear it is in a different fashion. It can be in any fashion, okay, not like this two only, it can be in any fashion but not linear. So that is called what? The non-linear characteristic, right? Now after this we will see what is bilateral circuits. Now what is bilateral circuits? So first of all we will see what is bilateral element. Okay, so bilateral element are those whose properties and characteristics are same in either direction. Okay, that means if I'll change the direction of the terminal of that element, its property and characteristics will never change. Okay, for explanation of that, I'll consider two circuit. Suppose this is my voltage source of V voltage. I have a resistor here. Okay, now I have another circuit which contains the same voltage source V and the same resistor R. Okay, but what is the difference here? Here the terminal of the resistor are in this fashion, that is A and B, and here the terminal is suppose in this fashion, B and A. Okay, I can change the direction of the resistance. Okay, so I have changed in these two different circuit. So what will happen here? A current will flow through this battery, okay, and through the resistor the current will flow. What will be the amount of current? That will be I equals to V by R according to the Ohm's law. Now what about the yellow circuit? Whether the current will flow? Yes, the current will flow. Here the current will flow like this. And what will be the amount of current here? That is equals to the supply voltage V divided by R again. Okay, that means what? The resistance here is showing the same characteristic as here. Okay, there is no change. Why? As we have changed the terminal, but still there is no change in the characteristic. Okay, so that means if we'll change the direction of a resistor in any circuit, whatever is the circuit, the property or characteristic will remain same. In the similar case, we can take the inductor also, we can take the capacitor also. The direction, if we change the direction or the connection, then its property and characteristics will never change. So these types of element which shows the compatibility of the characteristic in either of the direction, in both the direction. Okay, that is called what? Bilateral circuits. Okay, which gives the characteristic of in both the direction, two direction, that is called what? Bilateral circuits. Okay, here you can have the definitions. And the best example which shows the bilateral circuit is the distribution and transmission line. Okay, so this is about the bilateral circuits. Now in the similar sequence we have another element that is called what? Unilateral circuit. Now what is bilateral circuit? We know what is bilateral elements. So if any circuit, all the elements are bilateral elements, then that circuit will be called as what? The bilateral circuit. Similarly, now we can see the unilateral circuit. Before that, we will see what is unilateral element. Okay, so it is moreover same, but the main difference is what? This element whose properties and characteristics changes with the direction of its operation. Okay, that means now the characteristic and property of any element depends on the direction of its connection. If we change the direction, its operation changes. Okay, as we have seen in the resistor, the operation or the characteristic is similar, but now I can have the example of a diode. Okay, what is the characteristic of a diode? In forward bias, the characteristic is like this. That means after some amount of voltage, that is called as what? Knee voltage, the current will flow. Okay, and in reverse bias, that means if we'll change the direction of the diode, the characteristic will be like this. That means in reverse bias condition, initially the current flow through the circuit is almost zero. Okay, and after that the current increases very rapidly. So this is called as what? On condition, and this called that was off condition. Okay, we know this. So this is the characteristic of a diode, that if we will connect it in a forward bias condition, then it will be treated as an on switch, or if we will connect it in reverse bias condition, then it will be treated as the off switch, right? So this is the best example for unilateral element. Now if I have an arrangement of different electrical elements, and if there is a single element which shows the unilateral property, then it will be called as what? Unilateral circuit. Okay, if all the elements are bilateral elements, then it will be called as bilateral circuit. If any of the single element behaves like the unilateral element, then it will be called as unilateral circuit, right? Example for this is diode rectifier. Okay, now next is lumped and distributed elements. Okay, now what is lumped elements? Lumped elements are actually those elements which can be shown in a single piece. Okay, like in your laboratories you may have seen the resistor. Okay, and you can have used the color coding to get the resistance value of that. Okay, similarly we can have the inductance we can have the capacitance. Okay, these all are called what? The lumped elements, right? And what are distributed elements? Distributed elements are those which cannot be taken in a single piece, like this. Okay, that means what? If I'll consider a single wire which connects the two electrical points, okay, which is used to connect the two electrical points. And now what is this electrical wire? This electrical wire is made of some material. That may be copper, that may be iron, whatever it is. Okay, but that material will have some specific property. According to that, it will resist the flow of electrons and thus the flow of current, right? So that property will always be there in any of the material. Okay, so that property is termed as what? The resistance of the wire. Okay, so that amount of resistance, I cannot specify that is in between this or in between this. That is distributed throughout the wire. Okay, that resistance is throughout the wire. Okay, so that we can take that the resistance is distributed throughout the wire. So that type of element, that type of property we can take with the distributed term. Okay, this is called what? Distributed element. If I have to take the resistance of this wire, then I'll tell that this is the distributed element. Okay, if I'll have a element which is a resistor, then it is a lumped element. Okay, so here you can see the definition. A circuit consisting of a limited number of circuit elements is referred as what? The lumped parameter circuit, while a circuit containing unlimited number of circuit elements is called what? The distributed parameter circuit. Okay, and the example for distributed is what? The transmission line. So this is about the lumped and distributed parameters. Next, we have seen this circuit. Now we can identify what are the active elements and what are the passive elements here. Okay, I have told you about the active elements, that the elements which releases the energy. So here we have two terms, two elements which is used as a source. So here the example for active elements are E1 and E2. Okay, now what are passive elements? I have told you the elements which consumes the energy. So these are what? The passive elements. So here we can say that R1, R2 and R3 are the passive elements. Okay, and in similar sequence we can have the next terminology. What is that? That is node. Now what is a node? So we are taking the same circuit here. Okay, so what is a node? Node is a point in a circuit where two or more circuit elements are connected together. Okay, it is a simple point which connects two more than two electrical elements. So here suppose this E1 and R1, these are two elements. Okay, so if I have two elements, that means there should be some joining point. Suppose that point is A here. So that point is termed as what? Node. Okay, similarly if you see at the point B, this point B connects three elements, that is R1, R2 and R3. So it is also a node. Similarly with point C, it is connecting R2 and E2. Okay, now what about point D, E and F? If you see about this 3 point, then the point D connects E2 here, but there is no element. Similarly, if you see point E, it connects R3, but there is no element. Okay, similarly point F is there which connects E1, but there is no element. So that doesn't mean that F, E, D are not nodes. But what is there? I am just redrawing this electrical network, okay, this circuit in this fashion. Now there is no this branch, we don't have this branch. Okay, what I have done, just I have rearranged the given circuit in this fashion. Okay, so can you tell me where is the point F and D? Yes, the point F and D is merged with point E, and after merging also there is no variation in the circuit behavior. Okay, that means we can do like this. So now what is point F, E and D? These are same points, and whether it is a node or not, let's check. This point is connecting my source E1, my source E2 and the resistor R3. So it is also joining three elements. Okay, that means it is also a node. But what is the thing? That this point F, E and D, these 3 points are joining the same 3 elements. That means these 3 are the similar node. There is only one node, the name is different for that. Okay, so here we can have, I have one node A, another B, one more C, and the last one is a common node, which is, we can take it as F or E or D, any of these three. Okay, so this is called as the common node, right? So these are called what? Node. Now what is junction? Junction is a point where current divides. Actually, the term junction is related with the current division. Okay, the point or the connection in the circuit which is used to divide the current, that point is termed as what? Junction. Like if I'll see in this circuit, suppose E1 is releasing current in this direction. So whatever current it is releasing, the same current is flowing through R1. There is no path to divide the current, but the same current which is going through the R1, now it can divide at this point into this two path. Okay, so this point which is used to divide the current, that is termed as what? The junction. So this is my one point which can be termed as junction. Okay, A is not a junction because current is not dividing here. Similarly, C is also not a junction. Okay, point D is also not a junction, point F is also not a junction, but point E is a junction. Now why? Because here the current coming from this point, and suppose the current direction coming from this point is again merging here. Okay, don't take it that current is dividing also only, it can be merged also. Okay, so wherever we are getting this type of points, right, that is also called as what? Junction. So here we have two junction, B and E. Okay, so we have four nodes, these are my four nodes, and I have two junction, this. So here you can see the point B and point E are node as well as junction. Okay, so here one statement can be said that every junction is a node. Whatever junction you will take, that all junction is a node. Okay, but every node is not a junction. A common statement to differentiate the node and junction. Okay, so this is about the node and junction. Now consider this point that the junction is a point which is related with the current division. Okay, which is related with the current division, and node is a point, here I have not specified, but node is a point which is related with the voltage values. If I'll say that these are the different nodes, that means at each point, at each of these points, the voltage value will be different. How? What will the voltage value of E? What will the voltage value of A? Whatever is E1 here. Okay, that will be the voltage value of A. And suppose the current I is flowing through this resistor R1. So what is the voltage value of B? That will be what? That is E minus I into R1. The voltage will differ here because of the resistance R1. There will be a voltage drop, right? So this type of difference we will get in terms of voltage at each node. And just remember, I have told you that point D, point E and point F are the same nodes. Same nodes means what? The voltage value, voltage level at these points will be same. Whatever voltage I am getting here, the same will be here, the same will be here. Okay, that's why it is termed as what? The common node. Okay, hope you all are getting the clear understanding of this. Now few definitions left. What is branch? So branch is, please pay attention, that it is always defined with the help of junction. Okay, branch is a path which connects two junction. I have told you that point B and point E are the junctions. So whatever paths are used to connect these two junctions, that is called what? Branch. So here see, the B and E are connected through R3. It is connected like this with the help of B, C, D, E point. Now we can connect it like this also. That is what? B, A, F, E. So here in this circuit we have four nodes, we have two junctions, and we have three branches. Okay, so this is about the branch. What is loop and what is mesh? Again, another important terminology which will be used for the further analysis, that is called as mesh analysis, and node and junction terms will be used for nodal analysis. Okay, so we should be very clear about these terminologies. So what is a loop? Loop is a simple thing, that is closed path of a network. Whatever path we are getting, the closed path we are getting, that is called as what? Loop. Like in this diagram, I have a closed path like this, right? I have a closed path like this. Okay, I have another closed path like this. This is called what? Outer loop. So here I have 3 loops. Okay, first is A, B, E, F, A. Second is B, C, D, E, B. Please don't bother about the direction, whether always take to clockwise or anti-clockwise. You can take in any direction, okay? That doesn't matter. And the outer loop, the third loop is A, B, C, D, E, F, A. So these are 3 loops in this circuit. Now what is mesh? Mesh is again a loop. It is also a closed path, but it is the loop, the individual loop, which doesn't contains any other loop within it. Okay, so let's see in the example what is a mesh. Here I have a loop like this. Okay, so whether there is another loop inside this loop? No, it is an individual loop, so it can be called as mesh. Okay, similarly here we can see in this loop also there is no any other loop within it, so it is also a mesh. Okay, but if we take the outer loop, so we can see here I have 2 loops inside this. That means this outer loop cannot be taken as the mesh. It is loop only, it cannot be termed as mesh. So here I have only 2 mesh, A, B, E, F, A and B, C, D, E, B. Okay, so this is about the loop and mesh. So this is all about the network terminologies. In the next lecture, we will see what are the different sources available. Okay, what are the different types, how we can go for the ideal source, what is practical source. We'll see that all in the next lecture. Thank you. Thanks for watching.